What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Circus. Today we're going over a mid-dome deck profile. I've been playing this deck a little bit off and on, especially in Master Duel as well as in the TCG. And this is why I find the best build for me is I've been playing a lot of it at locals, especially with Max. Shout out to Max for also inspiration on this deck. Helped me out a lot. You know, he's been doing really good. This is actually a first place deck profile, so it definitely did perform. It's just at a local level, so you know, obviously you can change some stuff up. But I'll be explaining some of the odd choices, I guess, or like the different stuff, or what isn't mandatory, I suppose. Before we dive in, if you like, comment, subscribe, we're on the road to 5K. And yeah, we're going to be starting off with 3 of the Visa Starfrost. This is no surprise. He's your best. He's actually an extender too, which is kind of nice. But you want to pop your stuff. You need him in the grave. Then we have the Visa Solemn. This is also a Visa Starfrost. What's crazy about this card is that it actually is an extender. It's able to shuffle back some of your stuff. So if you have like this banished or in the grind games, you're going to put back a few of it and then summon himself out, and it's just like really crazy, which is really cool. And then for the mid-dome package, we are playing the Manndium Room Heart. This is just your, pop your stuff. It helps you avoid imperm, as well as on summon and search for any of your Manndium cards. Then we only play 3 little balls. Meek, you don't need to play the red one at all. I know that before Max was playing the Torrid, but we're not playing it at all anymore. You summon it back out. This like really facilitates all your synchro plays, as well as a lot of your link stuff. Pop, bring back. Sometimes you can end up like showing back through 5 of them, which is really cool. And you can also like shuffle them back as well with your reframing, which I want to mention later. Then we are also playing the 3 copy of Reach Heart. This is your dark counterpart to Room Heart. This, or I guess any of these, make your Visas Astrolab, which is really nice. This searches for your Scareclaw stuff, as well as get a pop and a draw. Very cool. Something important to summon your monsters in defense position, so you do get that draw off this card. And then we are on the 1 Kashtira, or Scareclaw Kashtira here. This is going to merge us into our last monsters here, which are the 3 Fenrirs. So the reason why you play the Fenrirs is because not only are they just a powerful body, but you're able to bridge into your Scareclaw. So say you just have a Fenrir, special summon them out, you activate the effect, you search for this, and then you can special summon this out by banishing like another copy. But then you actually have also this can link it to Lightheart, and then you can search for the spell, and the spell can get you Reichheart. Then you get to search for your Arrival, and just it bridges you into all your plays here, which is really nice. As well as just being a huge body that can actually beat over some of the towers, which is really cool. And then for our spells, 3 Calarium, 2 Pressure Planet. You don't actually need to, or not Pressure Planet, Primitive Planet. We're not playing Pressure Planet because of the fact that you don't really want to search for your Fenrirs. Same thing with the tier. I don't really find that like the tier one, you don't need a 6th planet. Like, I know it sounds weird, but like you have these to search, so you essentially have 6 Calariums and 2 of these. You end up going through these a lot with your Lightheart. So if you can get like into a Vistas, you can get this, and then like essentially eventually you'll get into draw into this, or be able to search. A lot of this deck just folds into itself. That's why it loses to draw so much, because you're adding. But the tier one, like, I didn't find I needed other ways to get to Vistas. There's lots of ways you can get into Vistas. This can summon himself out from the hand, and you have like 5 ways to search him. So a lot of times you won't end up seeing that. And then we are playing the 2 Arrival, as well as the 1 Reinforcements, and then 1 Reframing. This card's absolutely insane. It has the same thing as like Yeep, where you can banish to shuffle back stuff. People forget that effect all the time. And like this is just such a generic. You can just set it. If you draw it, then just have it on the negate, which is really nice. And then Arrival, of course, I find I draw this card all the time. It sucks playing it too, but it's very mandatory. And then for like the non-engine, this is like the weird part of the deck. We are playing the 2 talents. I'm not feeling 3 talents, that's why I'm not playing it. And then I'm playing and replacing it by Call of the Grave. This deck does lose to draw, so having like the option of having a Call of the Grave in the deck, so when I do draw it, feels nice. Unfortunately, I can't play any higher of it. And then we are on the 3 Droplets, and then the 3 Imperms. The reason why we're doing this rather than like a Nib lineup is because Imperm is the only one that doesn't lose to Talons and Thrust, which is very prominent in this metagame, as well as Droplets, being able to like sometimes dodge a bunch of your stuff. If you have your field spells that you want to get rid of, let's say you start off with like your copy of Reichphobia, and then you activate like the Obsession, and they try to like, I don't know, use an Omni to get on the field. You can just Forbidden Droplets, end up getting rid of it, and it's quite nice. Like negate their board, or you can always go like Imperm, and then if they have no response, you can also chain droplets to get rid of the imperm. So you're essentially double imperming them, which is really cool. Also like good interactions with this that you can also just put to the graveyard and don't really care. Like if you have extra copies of like your Reich Heart or your Room Heart, dropping them away doesn't really hurt because they also can be used in the graveyard for Vicious Astrolabe, which is really nice. But I wanted not playing into Talents and Thrust because I just don't feel like there's no necessarily need, especially when you're only playing such a low number of hand traps. Like we're only playing 9, so yeah, for your 9 energy slots, you could put in like lower impact, like Ash Imperm Droll or Ash and Droll Nib, like all those cards you can play. But I want to just like be able to go second and make this deck can break board like crazy. If you guys ever touch this deck, you know it's just full gas. So I wanted to play cards that help out like in the gas matchup as well as being crazy going first. Being able to set Forbidden Droplets and having a full board is very nice. And then for our extra deck, we are playing the 2 Vicious Astrolabe. This is absolutely standard. No really need to explain this. This card's absolutely insane. You do want to banish this off of your SP turn 0 though, so you can put it back with the spotter, which is just like another tips and tricks, I guess, for the deck. 2 Light Heart, 1 Cross Sheep, 1 Dark, and then 1 SP, as well as the 1 Axis Code Talker. SP actually makes this deck like dummy simple. So like a lot of the time, if you find yourself getting hand trapped, you can just enter an SP, and like SP is just insane. If you guys were playing around the format when Verte was legal with DPE, it just makes me remind me a lot of like going Verte after you get like hand trapped, and then just going for like a DPE, which essentially Little Knight just is, but you can't just like attack over DPE, which is kind of funny. But yeah, that's really it for the links. Max was not playing the Axis Code Talker before, but I think that it's really good now, especially with like Gloomy. Like I was playing it as a lab player. They had like all the lab stuff, and then I just like summoned out Dark, stole one of their things, and was able to like beat over with Vicious Astrolabe being able to pop. Like this card gets crazy with a combination of like these two stealing, and then you can like link up into something else. This can get like quite big at 43. And if you already have the Vicious Astrolabe on the field as well that pop something, like these 2 cards can just facilitate games so easily. And, like this is also so easy to make too, which is kind of funny. But yeah. And then for the synchro parts of the deck, that's what the deck is all about. We have 1 Trishkilla. This is Kikalos, because tier players are not getting their Kikalos back. We took it now. 1 Vicious Amoros, mom and dad of the deck, I guess. This one's just for any of your stuff, as well as becomes a Visa Starfrost on the field. We have your Excel. This is essentially an Excel, but for level 5s. And they can go into, or level 6 is going into level 8s, which is really cool. If you can summon back out the Meek, then you can go into this, and then you can then summon back out the Meek and then go for a level 10, which we are playing. We are playing the Barone, Despotter, Chengying. Not really much to say to this. A lot of times you are going to be needing like a non-dragon tuner to go into this, but you can also cheat it out with our good old friend Crimson Dragon. You can make Crimson Dragon quite easily and then target like a Barone. Then the Crimson Dragon will tag out into the Spotter, which is very nice to be able to summon back out like your Visa Starfrost or another copy of something that is banished. And then you're able to just like do a bunch of like stupid stuff with that. And then Chengying is just a big punch button. If you can make it, just go, and that's just it really there. These are just like facilitating pieces. And then really this is like the bread and butter of what you do. You normally end on like Barone with like a with like Barone, SP a lot of the times, and then as well as like a Despotter on the field if you kept it there. But like that itself is really good. And then reframing set as well. And then like you obviously have stuff you can shuffle back, like with the Spotter, you can shuffle back out your Vicious Astrolabe to destroy, which is very nice. But this deck also has like insane follow-up, which is just really cool. Having like 2 Omni Negates, SP, and then of course a Negate is good as well. I wanted to fit Appaloosa in this deck because you like make it, but unfortunately with SP and the copy of Axis Code Talker, it's just really hard to fit it in. Now for the side deck, this is obviously up to personal choice. We're playing the 3 Nibs and the 3 Drolls. If you guys have seen any of the other deck profiles on my channel, you guys definitely know that this is like a standard. I think this is standard throughout the whole meta. This if it doesn't hit anything else, you have these cards that hit everything. So if you're playing a matchup, you obviously side them in. Both these cards are crazy against us, so we are playing the 3 copies of Crossroads Designator. If you get drolled, your turn can just be over, as well as if they nib you in the wrong spot. Crossroads Designator does like stop that. You want to be able to stop droll and lockboard as much as possible, but they do not guarantee like they're playing it in the main deck. So you just cannot play Crossout in the main deck, which is kind of bad. I'm also not a huge fan of this card, but it is what it is, like a necessary evil. And then we also are playing the Evenly Matched for the Crossout. It does hurt this deck, so we end up like putting one in going first. If you don't get trolled, you can like end up stopping Evenly Matched. Then we are playing the 2 Lightning Storms. Once again, the same theory as the other cards with like droplets as well as imperm. You want these blowout cards. You don't want like these 1-for-1s because the deck just combos so hard. And then we are also playing the 2 Druid Storms and the 1 Magnemite. This is due to the Labyrinth deck as well as Tier. Being not they're not bad matchups, of course, but we want to be able to facilitate them as easy as possible. As well as these being level 6s, we can actually summon out like a Room Heart or a Reich, which are both tuners. And then we could just easily go into the copies of like Barone as well, which is very nice. Actually, Reich is not a tuner, my bad. Neither is Room Heart, but you can go into like, I guess, yeah, what am I saying? This is like for copies of with your Visa Samaros is what I'm trying to say. So like when you go into like this, you can go Visa Samaros going into it, which a lot of times you don't have like a bunch of plays for because it is like an awkward level. Yes, it is a Visa Starfrost, but you don't really want to go into your like your Trish Maniums or whatever they're called, the Mannadium this thing. A lot of times if you don't have your ball, you can't really go into this, but instead you can go, you have Visa Samaros, you can just normal summon it after you Druid Storm, and you can go into a Barone right away. And then you just be able to like pop a card and send a special summon monster, which is very nice. And you have a negate, which is really cool. Other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. I want to see more content like this. If you have anything you want to change in the deck, let me know in the comment section down below. I'm always open to listening to other people, as well as, having different opinions on the deck. But don't forget to stay safe. Peace.